So to support your learning on this, I've made this little video to talk a little bit about lists. Now I just want to give you name 1 equals Raymond, name 2 equals Harry, name 3 equals Arian, and name 4 equals Hamza. I've got a list of names here. Now, if I wanted to print each of those out, I could do print name 1, print name 2, print name 3, print name 4. And if I was to run my program, this is what would happen. Now, just a little problem there. That's very inefficient. Can you look at how many lines of code that has taken to do that? We've had to create individual variables and then print them all out. Now, if you want to pause it and see what I did there to remind yourself how variables work, that is fine. But I'm going to remove this now, and this time I'm going to show you something different. We're going to say names equals, and look at my square brackets, I'm going to go Raymond, we're going to go Ryan and Hamza. Now, if you have a look here, I have each of my strings, remember, is a string with speech marks separated by a comma. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go print names and watch what it does. I'm going to run that. And can you see it prints out all of those names for me? Let's change this one to Jerry or Kelly, actually. Let's change it. I'm going to run it again. Make sure my speech mark's there. And it prints out all of the items in my list. Now, I might want to go for a specific person. Now, the weird thing about lists is that we start counting at 0. So if I was to print names and use 0, that's actually going to print out the name Raymond. If I was to change that to number 3, that's going to print out Kelly, because we go 0, 1, 2, 3. Our index, our starting point, if you like, always stays at 0. So this is the position in your list. Now, watch what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to I printed out the name Kelly, okay? Because Kelly is in position 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. But what we're going to do is I'm going to change the value of that. I'm going to overwrite it. We're going to say names, square bracket, the position equals Rory. I want us to print out names again. And we're going to print out the whole list again as well. Print names. And watch what happens. So you can see it was Kelly, then it's became Rory, and then it's been replaced. And if you want to visualize that a little bit more, I'm going to put that there. Run it. And you can see the list before, the name that was appearing, then what it was replaced with, and then the list now. So you can actually update the items in your list by picking the number and allocating it the new variable. All right, so you can actually do that. Now, I want to show you something else. If, for example, I did this, names 4 equals Harry, watch what happens. I get an error, and that's because I've gone out of range. This is a range that starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, but I've gone to a 4th value. That doesn't exist. Now, if I want to add Harry to the end of my list, what I can now do, if I want, is I can do names.append, and I can put Harry on the end of that. Now, if I was to print names again, let's run that. You can see it's now added him to the list. So I've run that. That's added him to the end of the list. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to hashtag out my code. So I don't need any of these bits for the time being. All right. And this time I'm going to use a list of numbers. So I'm going to say scores equals, and we're going to go 4, 6, 8, 1, 2, 3. Now, you've learned a little bit about loops in a previous lesson. But what I'm going to say is for counter in range, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. Now notice we don't start counting at 0. This is how many repeats we're going to have. We're going to print scores, and we are going to use counter because counter starts at 0. All right, watch what happens this time. I'm just going to run that. 4, 6, 8, 1, 2, 3. So it starts at 0, all right, but it will carry out this action 6 times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is why it's printed out each item in the list. You might want a running total. Some people like to do that with their lists. So up here, I'm going to have total equals 0. Right, so this time we're going to say total equals total plus scores counter. Then at the end, I'm going to go average equals total divided by 6. Print average. Let's see if it works. So my average was 4. All right. So you can use those lists. And what happens is this counter value is used as a location on the array. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's taking the value out each time and working out the average. So watch this video, pause it, rewatch it as much as you need to help you with lists. Good luck.